So when they pull him up and put him down on his face and they claim that he's resisting, it's because they laid him in an awkward position. There is no physical evidence. There's no video evidence that Oscar nor his friends were actually involved in resisting arrest. None. And that's been fairly clear through all of the video testimony at this point. In fact, the event that caused Peroni allegedly caused him, I don't know what caused him, but seemingly caused him to hit Oscar, was Jackie was talking to Dominici. And they were talking. And they were talking. Jackie didn't like, evidently, as none of them did, that they were being detained and how they were being treated. I think it's after Michael was slammed or thrown into the wall.
Yeah.
He was thrown into the wall. So they're talking, why are you doing this?
Right, immediately after. Yeah.
Jackie is talking with his hands like I'm talking with my hand. He's not less with his hands than I'm talking, but he's animated. Oscar, as Jackie is a foot or so away from Dominici, Oscar puts his hand out and calls his friend back, in essence, to say, calm down.
Put his hands on his chest.
He pushes the young man back away from Dominici, and while he's doing that, Peroni comes and blindsides him. In a very cowardly kind of way. So, in defense of what they won't allow into the court record, what some believe was his personal relationship with this young lady, in defense of his young lady friend, he runs up, perhaps feeling she's being threatened. Where's that quote? The only thing you care about is, am I going to survive this encounter? He might have felt that Miss Dominici wasn't going to survive this encounter with these young black men. So he engaged Oscar in a brutal way. Oscar still didn't fight him. He sat down. And when they put him down to handcuff him, he complied with that too. Because they're the Keystone cops and they couldn't lay him down straight. That does not account for resisting arrest because these officers are the Keystone cops. Jamil, to his credit, refused to call in police.
Whatever.
They said, didn't you know they were police? No. I thought they were security guards or something. Well, why did you get back on the train? Because them security guards, no, BART police. Them security guards, no, BART police. No, security guards. That was it. Well, didn't you know that they were law enforcement? No. How would you know? How would you really know? As a teenager who's trying to get to school, or a teenager going to the mall, how do you know that these police officers are actually police officers? I'm hearing the strangest things about these off-brand police departments nowadays, of which BART is one.
That's right.
They had an incident in Southern California, if I recall, where the school police pulled somebody over and got into a shootout. Pulled somebody over? Why in the world are the school police pulling anybody over? Then they say school police pulled somebody in this area over and got a carload full of bags of marijuana, they claim. Now, unless that carload was on the campus, what in the world does school police have to do with a carload of anything? Y'all with me now? So you got all this hodgepodge of activity. So now you got BART police, who never ride the trains. Now, they're concerned with crime on the train. One would think they'd put on the uniform and walk the train. I've never seen a BART officer on a train.
Like they do in New York.
Like they do in New York? I've never seen it. They sit out, drink coffee in the parking lot. They wait for high school students to go to Fruitvale BART station to have a rally honoring Oscar as the opening arguments were preparing to be made, and they come out there with 100 students, and they come out there with the whole BART police department. Where were those students from? Was it Hayward High?
I forget the school.
A group of high school students with banners in their hand had to be confronted by 200 officers at the Fruitvale BART station last week. That's why they see them as rental cops. And when they testified in the preliminary hearing, they were angry that they weren't respected as other law enforcement agencies they think are respected. But reality is, on the other end of that gun are people who have problems with the police. After Operation Nutcracker, Lieutenant Joyner cried out at a West Oakland Town Hall meeting at Acorn about the fact that when firemen drive through the neighborhood, children wave at them. But when police, himself included, drive through the neighborhood, people give them the finger. That's what he said. That's, again, because of the historic relationship between black folk and the police. It didn't come out of a vacuum. We ain't mean people. We're the most loving people on the planet. Be honest with you, as mothers and fathers of civilization, everything goes with black families. Y'all remember watching Roots? Do you remember when the Civil War ended and Tom goes into the little store and there's a poor white guy that after the war he didn't have food to eat, so he tried to snatch something or stole something out of the store. The Klansmen came in and saw Tom, the black guy, there. They said, "Okay, Tom, you know what this is." And they take him out and they whip him like slavery still exists. Now Tom told them, "I didn't do anything. It was a white guy that had just robbed this home." Do you know that Alex Haley's family, the same white guy, came back hungry to their door? Tom's wife invited her in. "Come on in. What's your name?" His name was Tom too. "Oh, my husband. Here, have a bite to eat." And when Alex Haley's four-parent Tom comes in and sees, "That's the man that got me whipped." "Oh, Tom, it wasn't his fault. It was the Klansman that whipped you. That man right there is just hungry. Give him a bite to eat." And by the time they were done, they didn't only give him a bite to eat, they gave him a place to stay, they gave him clothes to wear, they gave him family relationship. And when they finally got out of that community, away from the slave master's plantation, they called him Old Tom. They actually took Old Tom with them to the new neighborhood. So when you find these young black people who are angry with the police, it's not because they're racist, because we've been brutalized.
If we could add this,
Yes,
Jamil expressed that so clearly, because when Rain said, "Well, why did you go back on the BART?" Man, I seen a security guard running like he was angry, and I didn't know what he was going to do, so I jumped back on the BART train out of fear. You know what I'm saying? He saw this officer coming like he was going to get somebody, and he hadn't done anything, but it was like scary, so he stepped back on the BART to realize that this man was really coming to do something.
Well, it's clear, and it's already stated in the Justice Department statistics, that contact between African Americans and law enforcement is disproportionate. Jamil is no different from these.
Yeah.
Now, these four young men, to my knowledge, have never committed a crime. However, without even asking them, I know two of them have been sitting in the car when the police pulled me over, when I didn't commit a crime. And had Bobby's children been with him when he was harassed a few weeks ago, if he had smaller children, they'd have been traumatized by that. And if I were to ask the other two, I'm sure they have seen it. They haven't experienced it themselves. They have seen it. We can just ask. Brother Osiris, have you seen the police do anybody badly?
Yes.
Brother Sharif, have you seen the police do anybody badly?
Yes, sir.
You have. Any other children witnesses? Brother Gary still has an engram. He's fighting off some old memories of police brutality.
Yeah.
Sister, you've seen it.